Hello, Peace Through Trade global family and community. My name is Arai Beckman, and I'm one of the founding partners of Peace Through Trade Blockchain and Peace Through Trade Coin. Today, I'm going to share with you guys my screen. There was a great article published on Coindesk.com, and the title of this article is Top US Banking Regulator Gould Says Crypto to Banking is Real. And this is a really interesting topic. So this year, thus far, the President Donald Trump U.S. administrative office has done a number of things. They've encouraged that America become the world's dominant blockchain Web3 cryptocurrency provider. They have actually passed the very first ever U.S. crypto law, which is the Genius Act, which allows laws and regulation to come in place around stablecoins. The SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, has produced a report titled Project Crypto, which is effectively them saying, hey, we've heard from the administration, the president's office, the White House, we're going to get out of the way of these restrictions on blockchain and crypto, and we're going to help lawmakers and laws come into place where effectively they're not going to be enforcing where previously, just even last year, they were labeling all of Web3 and blockchain effectively as a security. Now, what's also interesting is that the president's White House, in alignment with this messaging, hey, we need to become the world dominant leader in blockchain and crypto, they also said banks need to start giving access to blockchain and cryptocurrency companies. Now, what was really interesting was a few weeks after that, they made that first announcement, they also announced that they were going to start fining banks that weren't giving proper access in banking to crypto projects. How are they going to become the world leader if crypto projects can't even get a bank account, right? Now, what's very interesting about this article just published today, as of 8:34 a.m. on Coindesk.com, it says Jonathan Gould, chief of the office of the comptroller of the currency, said his agency is trying to halt debanking while also writing stablecoin regulations. What to know? I thought this is a great article I wanted to share with you guys. The comptroller of the currency, Jonathan Gould, assured a crypto audience that their debanking complaints were valid. So basically, blockchain companies that want to thrive in America, they want to start up in America, they're following the guidance of President Donald Trump's administration, can't get a bank account. Or if they have had bank accounts in the past, those bank accounts have been shut down. So how are they supposed to sell their products and services? How are they supposed to pay their team members? How are they supposed to operate, right? And even let's say if you're watching this going, well, shouldn't the majority of the money that they're getting in crypto shouldn't they be able to use that? Sure, there are certain circumstances and instances when you can, but T-Mobile doesn't take crypto payments to pay your cell phone bill if you're a contractor or a company. They can't pay the electrical bill. Possibly their landlord might let them pay their rent in crypto, but probably not. So the point is you need an off-ramp from crypto into the banking system. You need an on-ramp from the banking system into crypto. None of that's possible if you can't get a bank account. Gould here goes on to say, who was appointed to regulate national banks by President Donald Trump, has used his opening weeks at the agency to push a number of crypto-friendly policies. So this is really good news, guys. These are a presidential dictate is taking effect. The lawmakers and the administrative heads that this U.S. presidency has put in place are actually following through, and really quickly. As far as government governing and general bureaucracy goes at the highest levels of the world's largest economy, this is almost moving at the pace of real legit business and commerce. This is not usually seen in government. So these are really positive things, and every one of these actions that are taking place right now as a result of this United States digital leadership mandate, the United States will become the crypto world leader, that these administrative heads are taking every little action like this is what leads to the banking now gaining access for the industry getting access to the banking. This will lead to lawmakers getting in line. This will lead to the bills that will later on be passed into laws. And in my opinion, this isn't obviously any financial advice. This is all leading to a scenario where 2026 could be the dot-com boom of this industry, like we've had in the past of the dot-com boom. When the internet came out, it was an incredible opportunity for new companies, new ideas, new public listings to succeed and thrive in a legally regulated environment. Well, the Web3 industry has been waiting this entire time for the laws to come into place into America before we could truly have a stable boom. And I say stable because with the laws, the licensing, the compliance, and the regulation, the projects that launch next year with on the solid foundation of laws that have been passed and legal compliance and regulation that they can build upon, they truly have a foundation that can be built to scale for the long term. Just like with music streaming, we had Napster, they innovated, but where are they today? They don't exist. The groups like iTunes and Spotify that made sure they built on a solid foundation of regulation are currently dominant. The same thing has happened in every major industry when it goes from unregulated to regulated. The groups that do it properly, the right way, cleanly from inception, usually end up dominating. And what's crazy is how quickly it happens. Global world leaders, the groups with the most money making the most revenue, have been replaced inside of 18 to 36 months in new industries once licensing comes into place. Most recently, I watched it personally happen in the CBD and global cannabis markets. So it says here that Gould's department, the OCC, is getting started on implementing the Genius Act regulations. That's the first law ever passed in the United States regarding crypto to do with stablecoins for stablecoin issuers. So let me share with you here the next thing. Now, what's shocking is that a lot of the world, I don't think, knows about this. And it's really just because the laws haven't yet been put in place outside of the Stablecoin Act. Now, what happens is a massive, imagine, banking executives, I'm sure they can give them a phone call, but the process of disseminating information throughout even, let's say, the biggest banks in the world, or JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, it's probably taking a minute to get all the way down to the branch level and be integrated and updated in their automated approval systems that they have. Technology takes a minute to get integrated, which is why I thought it was really interesting that the White House, the president's office, also said, by the way, if you don't get in line with this and you continue to debank, we're going to fine you. But this is really validating for anyone out there in the crypto industry that has undergone these hardships by being cut off and debanked. And it's still happening as of today with this article published on CoinDesk.com. So he goes on to say, Gould, debanking is real. It's a real phenomenon, he noted. And as last week, he told stories about people with corporate accounts being told that we don't want your business here. And allegedly, this is happening very, very recently. So it's pretty cool because in his push, the article goes on to say, to make the United States the crypto center of the world, President Donald Trump has appointed digital asset-friendly regulators such as Gould to enact his executive orders to bolster the industry. Gould said he's been busy at the start of his tenure addressing these debanking, reversing, anti-crypto licensing conditions that we imposed, and he's starting to work on new stablecoin regulations. So he's basically saying, the article goes on to say that he's taking actions now to reverse this debanking that has been occurring and to make it so that banks stop debanking and provide easy, normal access to blockchain and crypto companies, just like any other industry would be receiving that's legal. Crypto and blockchain can as well. And this might sound like a little small point. We've seen this administrative notice go out from the White House. Hey, allow banking. We've seen them say, hey, we're going to fine you if you're still not allowing banking. Well, now you see a gentleman who's in charge of this, the head of this organization on behalf of the administrative office, now saying he's proactively taking action to do this. This is the next big step that needs to happen. In order for this industry to thrive, banking needs to be given access. So we're going to be watching the development of this story and this issue in the United States very, very closely, because once the capital markets can bank as per usual in the blockchain and crypto space in America, we'll start to see more and more capital flowing in. We'll see more and more lawmakers paying attention, taking action, these bills being presented, God willing, proposed and passed. And get ready, because I think with the pace and the momentum that they're already demonstrating almost daily, I'm seeing updates from this current US administration as it relates to the crypto, blockchain, Web3 world. I think next year, 2026, could rewrite all past history as it relates to just the traditional history of Bitcoin. And we could very well see, who knows, a Web3.com boom event take place, which would be so exciting for legal, regulated, compliant projects that are going to have their ICOs or their token generation events like Peace Through Trade. Obviously, no financial advice ever. God bless. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure to follow, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about how quickly you think blockchain crypto projects are going to gain access to banking as per usual in the